The poison burning through my veins tastes exactly like my husband's betrayal, bitter, cold, and fatal. 7 years of devotion. That's what I sold my soul for. I bankrolled Tristan's rise from the gutter to the penthouse, thinking my generosity was the foundation of our love. I was a fool. To him, my inheritance wasn't a gift, it was a leash he wanted to choke me with. While I rot alone in this empty mansion that feels more like a mausoleum, he isn't grieving. He is with her. Cassie. The girl he actually wanted. The girl he's building a family with on my dime. My vision fades to black. My heart stops, heavy with a regret so toxic it screams for justice. But then, my eyes snap open. Air rushes into my lungs. The smell of death is gone, replaced by the scent of old textbooks and expensive perfume. I am back. And this time, I'm not signing the check. Chapter 1. Cordelia, just because you're loaded doesn't mean you own the world. We don't want your pity, and we definitely don't want your money. The voice was shrill. Grating. I blinked, the world tilting on its axis. My vision cleared, focusing on the girl clinging to Tristan like a barnacle. Cassie. She was playing the martyr, shielding him with her body, her face twisted in a mask of righteous indignation. I looked past her. Straight at Tristan. He was 20 again. He wore a denim jacket that had been washed until it was practically white, the fabric fraying at the cuffs. But, God, life wasn't fair. Even in rags, the man was breathtaking. Tall. Lean muscle coiling under that cheap fabric. A jawline sharp enough to cut glass and eyes cold as a winter night. Poverty didn't make him look pathetic, it made him look dangerous. Noble. My breath hitched. I stumbled back a step, my hip slamming into the desk behind me. The sharp pain grounded me. How long had it been since I saw this version of him? 10 years. 20. It felt like a lifetime. Because it was. It was a whole other life. Tristan saw me recoil. A flicker of confusion cracked his stony expression. Cassie was still yapping, spewing her rehearsed lines about dignity and pride, but the sound faded into static. My blood ran cold. I knew this scene. I had lived it. I had died because of where this road led. This was the day. The day he refused my help, and I, stupid, blind, obsessed Cordelia, forced it on him anyway. I had loved Tristan for 7 years. I knew his story. Everyone knew. He was the scholarship kid in a sea of trust fund babies. His father, Lester, was a degenerate gambler who drank away every cent and came home to use Tristan and his mother as punching bags. His mother, Sandra, couldn't take the hell anymore. She walked into the East River and never walked out. Tristan survived. He scraped by on scholarships, odd jobs, and sheer, stubborn grit. We shouldn't have crossed paths. I was old money, he was no money. But he was brilliant. The prep school needed his GPA to boost their Ivy League acceptance stats, so they gave him a full ride. The rest of us. We were just biding time until we inherited empires. We partied, we skipped class, we burned cash. Tristan was the anomaly. He sat in the front row. He absorbed every word. And the second the bell rang, he sprinted to work his shift at the diner, or the warehouse, or wherever would pay him under the table. He was never ashamed. He walked through the halls with his head high, unbowed by the weight of his reality. That was when I fell for him. I loved him, so I couldn't stand seeing him suffer. I was young. Naive. A spoiled princess living in a bubble of privilege. I thought I could fix his life by throwing expensive things at it. He worked nights, skipping breakfast and lunch to save money. So, I started bringing him gourmet lunches. Tristan, try this. My private chef made filet mignon. It's to die for. And these truffles. My dad had them flown in from Italy this morning. You have to taste them. I was an only child, raised on a pedestal, surrounded by people who never said no. My brain was filled with cotton candy and diamonds. I wanted to give him the best. I never stopped to ask if he wanted it. The class clowns loved it. Cordelia, come on, one guy jeered, leaning back in his chair. He wouldn't know a truffle from a toadstool. He's probably used to eating out of the dumpster behind the cafeteria. Shut the hell up. I snapped, glaring at them. None of your business. I was so busy defending him, I didn't look at him. I didn't see Tristan's hand gripping the plastic lunchbox. I didn't see his knuckles turn bone white, the blood draining from his fingers as he squeezed the container until it nearly cracked. He went rigid. Then, he set the box down on my desk. Thanks for the offer, he said, his voice void of emotion. But I don't need it. Don't be like that, Tristan, another boy shouted, winking at his friends. Just date her. If you lock that down, you'll never have to work a day in your life. Yeah. Daddy won't have to worry about the bookies breaking his legs if you have Cordelia's bank account backing you up. Laughter exploded in the room. Cruel. Sharp. I slammed my hand on the desk. I said shut up. The room went quiet. My anger had weight. But Tristan didn't wait for my defense. He stood up, the chair screeching against the floor, and turned to leave. Panic flared in my chest. I grabbed the lunchbox and ran after him. Tristan, don't listen to those idiots. Just eat the food, okay? You have a double shift tonight. Your body can't run on air. He stopped. He spun around so fast I almost crashed into him. I froze. The air left my lungs. There was no gratitude in his eyes. No affection. Not even annoyance. It was pure, unadulterated hatred. He looked at me like I was something vile on the bottom of his shoe. A disgust so deep, so visceral, it felt like he had physically slapped me across the face. Chapter 2. Teenage memories are made of Teflon. Nothing sticks. I forgot the look of pure hatred in his eyes almost instantly. I just kept chasing. I became his shadow. I even started studying, actually opening a textbook for once, just so I could follow him to the same university. My father, Raymond, was so thrilled his spoiled princess was finally showing some ambition that he doubled my allowance. But while I was swimming in cash, Tristan was drowning.